Welcome back, guys. This is Smartest Card 5 Vanguard, and here for Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Profile. This is a new deck that I made a while ago, and I wanted to show you guys. It's Cyber Dragons. No, sadly, it's not. It's the it's Orcus machine types. This is my version of Orcus plus Cyber Dragons, and I hope you guys enjoy. First, I want to say I'm sorry for not making videos lately, and I would do better. And I hope you guys enjoy. So, let's get this on. First is the monsters. First, you gotta run 3 Cyber Dragons. Easy special summon if your opponent controls a monster and you don't. And it's level 5, so that's also very important that I use. Then I run 2 Cyber Dragon cores. I use it for the machine duplication. Use that, and you can special summon 2 Cyber Dragons, because core counts as Cyber Dragon on the field. That's 3 monsters already for the price of 2 cards, and that's very good because I need those 2 machine type just in case for any place. Then I run the main card for Orcus, which is Orcus Harper Horror. If it's in the graveyard, you can banish this card. You can special summon a different Orcus than its name, and special summon it to the field. That's really good because you can special summon any others, which are 2 others. But this is the main card because it's very easy to get this card out and return it back. Next, the second main card is Orcus Symbol Skeleton. If this card's in the graveyard, you can banish this, and you can special summon 1 different name than Symbol Skeleton from the graveyard to the field. This is great because if you have a linked Orcus monster in the graveyard, you can special summon it by banishing this card, which goes on for the combos. Next, I run 3 Orcus Brass Bombard. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sorry, guys. This card's not the most important because its effect is if you banish this card to special summon Orcus from the hand. It comes good sometimes, but mostly you're just using it for the level, the 500 attack for the machine duplication to get 2 more out on the field. And that's about it. You're not really using them. You don't use a tuner, but you don't really use it for the tuner. I mean, if you have first turn and you have a bad hand, you could just summon because he has 1900 defense. So that's why I put him at 3. Next, I run 3 World Legacy World 1. This card could go down to 2, but I like it at 3. Maybe if I get the other cards, I could run this up to 2 or 1, or just 2. 2 should be fairly good. But I run 3 right now because if you can special summon on the field, you can actually machine duplication, so you can get 3 of these out, which is actually good for if you want to make a rank 8 with 3 materials, which I sadly don't but that is possible. I haven't actually done that at all in all my playtesting. And its effect is if this normal set card cannot be destroyed by battle with a special summon from the extra deck. So it's good for like defense. And then it has 2 effects. When it's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a World Legacy from the hand. So it's good for defense. Like you say you throw this during your opponent's turn, you have a World Legacy in hand, you can special summon it, take less damage. Then you can banish this card from the graveyard. And if you do, you can target a Orcus monster from the banish zone and special summon it. So you can banish this to get another one out for the name of Orcus, which is really viable. That's why he's so useful, and he's very good. You mostly use this for ditcher like Foolish Burial or the spell card, the Orcus Return, which you can ditch a card to draw 2 cards that has World Legacy or Orcus in the name. Then I run 2 World Legacy World Crown. This is very useful for the deck because if you have a link monster, you can special summon this card from the hand to that link link marker. And then you can, during your opponent's turn, if they special summon a monster from the extra deck that activates effect, you contribute this card to negate that effect. The last effect is you don't really use it because it's a level 6 monster. If it's normal summon or set, distributed, you can add a War Legacy card from the hand. But of course, when you special summon it, you don't get that effect. Next, for the last of my War Legacy, these are hand traps. These are hand traps I've run. One of them is World Legacy, World Lance. This card is actually very phenomenal. Sorry, guys. But you don't use them for any of the other effects other than when any monster battles any Link monster. Yeah, if a Link monster is in battle, you can ditch this card from your hand. Quick effect. And your opponent's monster loses 3,000 attack. So they try to go for game on your monster, you ditch that card and bam. Their monster's destroyed because they have like 0 attack. Unless it's like a very powerful deck, then this card will not be very useful, but most people don't run that. So, and the last of my hand traps is Effect Veiler. During your opponent's main phase, you can discard this card to negate the one monster on the field, on their field. This is the most viable hand trap. You don't really want to draw this with like one of the spells in this because it's a light. This is like this and the Cyber Dragons are the only lights in this deck. Everything else is dark. And for the last monsters we run is, of course, 3 Armageddon Knights. You summon this field, summon this card. You can ditch any dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. It's very good for ditching this card to banish it to special summon like an Ocrust. So you have like 2 monsters right off the bat. So it's basically a 2-card combo to get 2 monsters on the field for just 1 card. And that's all the monsters I run for Nexus spells. Now I run 3 Ocrust Return, main spell card through draw. People say this clogs up. I don't really have any problem with this clogging up because I really want it in my hand to ditch a card, or you can send a card from the field too that have the name World Legacy or Ocrust monster, Ocrust in the name, that's a monster, to draw 2 cards. So that's why I run 3. And then the other one I run is 2 Allure Darkness. Those are my draw power cards. You draw 2 and then banish 1 dark. Sometimes this doesn't always go off because of the lights in the deck, but that's okay because you can send them to the graveyard for more utility. Next is the main field spell. Most main card. You want to have this on the field. It's called Ocrust Barrel. And what it does is if this card's on the field, all Ocrust monsters and Link monsters on the field and graveyard become quick effects. So during your opponent's turn, you could activate any Ocrust monster or Link monster's effect during their turn. That's why this card is so good. And you don't want to run it at 3 or 3 terraforming to get this card. Because once you get this card on the field, and it's all sent to the graveyard or whatever, if it leaves the field, basically, the next turn you could just ditch any card, not an Ocrust or World Legacy, just any card, and you can add this card back to your hand. So that's very good. And it's very easy to get out because one of your Link monsters can easily get it out with the effect. I'll explain that later. Then I run 2 Ocrust Eyeswad. This is also very good. It's only good for your opponent's turn because once they summon a monster, special or normal summon a monster, you can take 1 Ocrust or World Legacy from your deck, banish it, or send it to the graveyard. Mostly I send it to the graveyard because I want their effects to activate because of the barrel on the field. But if I'm in a situation with the barrels not on the field, I'll banish instead. But that has never actually happened. Or if I'm like short by 1 of the Link monster's effect, I can just do that too. Well, like again, I've never been short on it. But it's still very good to mill cards from your deck. Next, the last of 2, I run 2 Machine Duplication. I would run this at 3, but sadly I only have 2. Basically, you can activate this card if by targeting 1 card on the field that has 500 or less attack, and you can special summon up to 2 copies with the same name. And it's not once per turn, so you can activate this if you have like another chance to special summon again. You can basically get like 6 monsters on the field on one turn. But sadly, I can't do that. But that's why this card's so useful. This card sometimes bricks because of that. If you don't have the monster in hand, or you don't have this card in hand, you just have to wait. So this card is useful, but at the same time, I think it's actually better at 2. Because it can brick, because you can't use this unless you have a monster with 500 or less attack. Next for the 1-0s, I run 1 Monster Reward, 1 Foolish Burial, and 1 1-for-1. 1-for-1 is just ditch any card, any monster card, especially from level 1. So that's very good for the Ocrust Brass to get on the field for the machine duplication. Like if you have these 2 cards and a monster card, that's a 3-card combo for just ditching 3 cards, which is normally not happening. And Foolish Burial, of course, you have to have that because all your monsters activate their effects in the graveyard, and Monster Reborn bring back your monsters or your opponent's monster to your side of the field. And you don't run Soul Charge or mostly anything else because you don't want to activate Soul Charge because your monsters already bring back because of the Ocrust Simple Skeleton. So you don't really need that extra Soul Charge because you want to battle. You don't want to waste a turn. Next for traps, I run only 4. I kind of want to run more of one of these traps, but sadly I didn't get any more than just 1. But here's Ocrust Core and Ocrust Attack. Ocrust Core is a continuous trap card that you can banish 1 monster from the graveyard to try to get an Ocrust card on the field, and that card cannot be targeted by card effects until the end of turn. And then this card is also useful because if it's on the field and your Ocrust monster is about to be destroyed by battle, you can send it to the graveyard to stop it being destroyed. This card I kind of want to play at 2 or 3 because it's really useful. And basically what it does is if any monster battles, you can tribute an Ocrust monster on the field and you can banish one of your opponent's monsters. This is really valuable because most decks that do not do with banishing very well, this card can solve that. Next, I run 2 of the last traps as World Legacy Sorrow. This card is amazing. You mutually link a lot in this deck, and it doesn't even have to be with your just your monsters. Like sometimes they point at other zones and links with your opponent's monster. You can still activate this effect because your monster is linked to co-linked with a monster. And basically what this is, if you have a co-linked monster on the field, you can negate anything, a monster, spell, or trap card effect. That's why this is so useful, because you don't need some warning or any of the other ones that negate stuff. This does it for free, and all you have to have is a co-link on the field. That's easy enough. Now for the extra deck, I run 1 Cybernetic Mega Fleet Dragon. Very good if you have a Cyber Dragon on the field, or you draw into a Cyber Dragon or Cyber Dragon Core. You can just summon it, take your opponent's monster from the extra link, and there you go. You took their monster. Then I run 1 Cybernetic Fortress Dragon. This is for the Cyber Dragon matchup. Basically, you can check out any Cyber Dragon monster, any machine type monster on the field. Basically, yeah, 1 Cyber Dragon and 1 machine type on the field, and you can contact fusion. These 2 are very important to have in the deck. Gotta have them. And that's it for those fusions. And then here is a trick. The reason why I run the Cyber Dragon cores with the Cyber Dragons is the Cyber Dragon Nova and Cyber Dragon Infinity play. This is very useful because Infinity just negates stuff. You need Infinity. Most people don't play this, but I recommend playing this with Nova Infinity to get more monsters out And if this is the only combo you can do that turn, great, because Infinity negates anything and can steal your opponent's monsters. Sorry, guys. So basically, you need 2 level 5 monsters for this. And once per turn, you can detach a material to special summon a Cyber Dragon from the graveyard. And you can banish the Cyber Dragon as well during the battle phase. And it gains 2100 attack, which is basically double. And then also, if you're putting like negates something on Cyber Dragon when you can't get Infinity out, you can just Infinity effect will activate, and when it's destroyed by card effect, I guess you can just get like I guess I could like put that in the deck because that could happen sometimes. You can special summon a Cyber Dragon from the extra deck, but I don't think that will actually ever come out. We'll see if I ever play test it. And then Cyber Infinity, if it's on the once per turn, you can attach a monster from your opponent's side of the field to discard as a material if it's an attack position, and then also you can overlay this onto Cyber Dragon and Nova. Also, if your opponent activates a effect, you can once per turn quick effect and negate that card and destroy it. These two I have to recommend because these are too important. These are really good cards to not play. Now for the links, I play 1 Link Karibo for the Orcust Brass bomb to have on the field. You guys know what Link Karibo does. Then I run 1 Underclock Taker. Very essential. It helps sometimes. I don't really go into this much, but if I ever have a situation, this card could be very useful. And then I run 1 Wee Witch Apprentice. I was going to play 2 of these, but I apparently only got 1. This makes all your monsters that are dark gain 500, and all your opponents and all monsters who are light lose 400 attack and defense. So these are my Link 2s that are not Orcust. The rest are Orcust except 1 card left in this deck. And the first one is Glea, the Orcust Automation. I hope I'm saying that right. But this is one of the main cards. I actually want to play 3 of these because this is a very essential card. And basically what it does, if this card is linked, basically if a card is linked to it, it can't be destroyed by battle. And that means if this card is linked to a monster or a monster is linked to this. So if a monster points down here and it's linked, it still gets the effect. So basically what this does is you get once per turn. You can return a banished machine type monster, any banished machine type monster from your banish zone, return it back to the deck, and you can set 1 spell or trap Orcust in the name to your side of the field. So what you got to do is activate this effect, set the barrel, and then you can activate barrel, and they can't do anything because you're setting it. You're not activating it, or you're not adding it to the hand. So this is very, very useful to get your field spell right off the bat, or any of the other cards if you have the field spell already in hand. This card is just essential. It's very useful in getting your board set up. That's why I run 2. Next for the 2 of the Longinus, the Orcust Operator. I think that's how you say it. But basically he's a link 3 who if this card is linked to a monster or it's linked to it, this card can't be destroyed by card effects. So this is very useful for a combo for later. This and the main Orcust monster, the Link 4. So basically what its effect is, if a monster that is linked this turn, or not this turn, but if it's linked, you can return 2 banish. So it's 2 banished machine type monsters, any machine type monsters, and return back to the deck. And if you do, you can send 1 link card. So what that means, which is actually very different from what their effects are. It means if it's like this, if this card is linked to this, but this card is not linked to that. That means if this effect activates, it can only send this monster to the graveyard. It can't send the other monster. Because this monster is not linked. This is. So, I wonder if anyone got that misplay. But that's why, that's okay effect. I kind of wish it was like a link monster, but it's a linked monster. So, it's still very useful, but it's also it can't attack the turn to activate this effect. That's why it's useful, but it's not useful. It's only there for the can't be destroyed by card effect, which is okay. Next is the main Ocrust monster, and it is Ocrust. Basically, it's a link 4, and this card can be destroyed by battle or card effects if this card is linked. And its effect is basically you could return 3 3 banished machine type monsters from the graveyard, and all linked cards on your opponent's side of the field, or all their attack and defense are reduced to 0, and their effects are negated. And with the barrel on the field, this is a quick effect. So you activate this, all your opponent's monsters are negated. And they can't do anything because they're negated and they have 0 attack. So if they try to attack this monster and the monster is linked to it, a different monster is linked to it, or this monster is linked to it, you can activate this effect and it goes to 0. And they take 3,000 because they have 0 attack versus this card. So that's why he's very useful. These two, that and the link 3 are very good for the next combo that I'm going to show you. And that is the main card, Yugioh Bomber Dragon. This is the most important card out of this set. And the reason is if this card's on, if you have this card, and you activate like the skeleton, where is it? You activate the skeleton during your opponent's turn because the field spell's on the field, and you can special summon a 1 link or Ocrust monster. It can be anything. But if it's like this, or this monster, you special summon it here, or here, or here. Doesn't matter where. But any of those zones, it blows up your opponent's main zone. And then this card is the only one that can attack, but if it's during your opponent's turn, it doesn't matter. Basically, what it's useful is your opponent's trying to like get their play out, like their link monsters or whatever, but you have your symbol on the graveyard. Quick effect, special summon this card. Now the whole field is wiped. Now they can't do anything because they have no monsters left on the field because Yugioh Ocrust effect. And its last effect, which is really useful, if it attacks a monster at the end of battle, it deals damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of that monster, which is really useful. So basically it's like a 3,000 meter, because it's like a direct attack, because you attack your opponent monster and then this effect activates, and it's like 3,000 all the time. So that's why this is useful. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I really like this deck, and I hope you guys enjoy. Hope this made some like advice for you guys if you ever want to make this deck or like improve it. Comment down if there are any like problems with this deck. I haven't really had a professional like advice from anyone. If there's anything wrong with this deck, just comment down. I don't really care. I like your feedback, guys. This is only 14 extra deck cards, so I'm running 1 less than I'm supposed to, but it's still very good. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you do, like and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a good day. See ya.